Welcome to CityWise. I'm your host, Tiana Stevens. CityWise is produced by the City of Rochester to shine a spotlight on city living at its best. Well, Mayor Lovely Warren is inviting talented graduate and undergraduate students to help lead Rochester to our brightest future yet by participating in city government and all of its functions through the city's Urban Fellows program. Briana Chamberlain is a former fellow turned IT business analyst for the City of Rochester, and Tassie Demps is the director of the city's Bureau of Human Resource Management, and they're here to tell us more about this exciting opportunity. Thank you, ladies, for coming on today.
Thank you for having us.
So, Tassie, what's the primary goal of the Urban Fellows program?
The primary goal is to introduce college students to city services and also enrich us with their talent. It also allows us to train them to be prospective employees and work in a vast variety of different departments.
And now Mayor Warren has put a lot of resources, a lot of time into really thinking thoughtfully about the Urban Fellows program. Can you share a little bit about her own story as an intern and how that shaped her career?
Well, Mayor Warren shares her story repeatedly, but I won't be able to tell it as well as she can. But Mayor Warren started her internship with New York State Assemblyman David Gant as an intern. From that, she was aspired to public service, and we know the rest of the story. She worked to become our council president, as well as two-term city first African-American female mayor.
Now, Briana, your fellowship was in the Mayor's Office of Constituent Services. What made you choose that office?
So the good thing about the Mayor's Office is a lot of other departments fall within her office. So luckily, I was able to do projects for a bunch of different departments, and that's why I picked it, because I knew I wouldn't be limited to any opportunities. So I was able to work with a lot of different department heads on a lot of different projects, and I was truly able to see the vast dynamic of what the City of Rochester has to offer within City Hall.
Quite a variety.
Large variety.
Tassie, when a student applies for an internship, what's the process and how are they matched with departments?
So the process is they visit the city website at www.cityofrochester.gov and go to the tab that is Jobs, and from that tab they can go to the Urban Fellows tab. The Urban Fellows tabs will prompt them to first put in an application. Everyone has to fill out an application, and then the program also prompts them to give us a brief paragraph on what their area of interest is, and that's usually attached to what their curriculum is in college.
And they can go online and kind of read about each department right there?
Yes.
Okay. And then what's the next step? Interview process, that sort of thing?
The next step is we match up interns' area of interest with department needs. I think, and the mayor thinks, that it's very important for part of the program being so enriching for the interns that if they're attorneys, we try to match them in the law department. If their area of interest is in communication, put them in communication. So therefore, you're enriching their interests that they already have.
And Briana, you already mentioned that you got to work with a lot of different departments. What are some examples of your responsibilities or projects that you've worked on?
Yeah, so when I actually, when the mayor was first elected, that's when I began my fellowship experience. And one of my projects was to actually streamline the city's Urban Fellows program. So that was probably one of the larger projects that I took on. So it was revamping the website, it was streamlining the application process. So those are some of the activities that fellows are actually assigned. So you do real things when you intern in the city, in City Hall.
Right. How did this work align with your own personal goals and interests?
Yeah, so the good thing about being able to perform projects for different departments, you're able to focus on things that you become more interested in. And so I knew I wanted to be in public service, which is a great thing, and I was actually working for IT back at Canisius College. So I interned in the mayor's office, but then I started doing things for the IT department. Naturally. Right? And so that's where I'm currently employed, and with that, I'm pursuing my career or my education in graduate school to pursue that IT role. So you're able to continue on developing your interests, and that navigates you and allows you to continue your education and your professional development.
Now, Briana, you're from the city of Rochester. You are a local lady.
Yes.
But Tassie, do students come from all over to work with the city of Rochester?
Yes, our first preference is to city residents, but we also accept a vast variety. We have students here that are going to college in our community, and our goal is to employ those college students.
Okay. Briana, what was the interview experience like for you, and what advice would you have for someone that's applying for the Urban Fellows program?
Yeah, so actually, the mayor and I did an interview together, actually. So she interviewed, she interviewed me for my first go around as an Urban Fellow. So, you know, no pressure or anything like that. So she actually interviewed me. We went through my resume. She asked me what was my area of interest, what was I currently doing in school, and she placed me in her office. So one of the tips that I would give an Urban Fellow is you always want to make sure you network. You want to try to focus on capturing what your interest is, because that's going to allow you to further your education, and then you know what you want to do in as far as developing yourself professionally.
Sure.
And the program does allow for the Urban Fellows to be able to network. We have opportunities where we have an open house, open reception. We invite all of the senior level city staff to that. The interns have an opportunity to meet other interns. So they're networking on field trips, they're networking on different programs that we have within the city. We also invite the interns that if you want to visit another department, take the initiative, call that department. I've had interns come in and come in and see how HR works, and that's a good way for them to learn how do other city services work, not just the area of interest that they're working in.
So it kind of is what you make of it.
Exactly, exactly.
Expand a little bit about the tours and taking the interns to other departments. Why is that important for them to see the whole picture like that?
Well, I think sometimes when we think of the city, the departments that are really out there and visual to the community is police and fire. And I know a lot, and even 911. But when you think about other city services, we have a vast variety of services, from our parks to our cemeteries, to our Department of Environmental Services. And I think people don't always equate that with city employment. This way, by taking someone to the fire department or taking them on a tour of the cemetery that has a vast amount of history, they really begin to see all of the different services, all of the different work, and all of the different job opportunities that are available, from being an engineer to working in IT to being a graphic designer. I could go on and on, but there's a vast amount of opportunity available at the city.
Sure. And Briana, you took advantage of visiting as many departments as you can. I saw you, all the time in different departments. You even stopped by IT or the 911 center.
Yes.
How was that beneficial for you?
It just allows you to truly see the dynamic that the city has to offer, and you really get in-depth experience of all the different things that other employees are doing. It allows you to see the focus points that the mayor would like to focus on through the projects that she assigns or other projects that departments decide to take on. So you truly get to see the city in a whole different focal point, which is beneficial. You truly learn about the city that you live in.
Sure. And in the Department of Constituent Services, you had the opportunity to actually go out with the mayor on clergy on patrol walks, things like that, interacting with the community. How was that important for you?
Extremely important. It's a great opportunity for you to see the things that she decides to put her focus into. I was able to tag along in a ton of different meetings, and I was able to meet a lot of great people, such as the governor. I have that picture to this day. It's just great experience, and then you truly decide if this is something that you would like to do for the rest of your life. So it's been such a great experience. It's something that I could never change or anything along those lines, because everything happens for a reason, and I've been so lucky for the mayor to kind of take me under her wing and to say, you are able to do whatever you like, just make sure that you stay focused. And I could say, hey, can I tag along during this meeting when I was interning? And she was so gracious to say, absolutely, I want you to get this experience.
That's excellent. Tassie, you receive a lot of applications
Yes.
for the Urban Fellows program. What are you looking for in an applicant?
I think what we look for is, number one, drive and ambition. We look for our urban fellows to show an interest, and they show that by when they first submit their letter saying intent, their area of interest. We also look for that in their interview. Have they taken the time to do some research? If you have an area of interest in the law department or communication, they can visit our website, look at the budget book. You may not know every line in the budget book, but you can certainly go to the law department or to the Department of Environmental Services, communication, and look and get some information about that and be able to articulate your interests and how that ties into your future aspirations.
Sure, a ton of information on the website.
Yes.
Briana, what advice do you have for the urban fellow that's just starting their fellowship?
Jump right in there. Just make sure you continue to network. You always want to go above and beyond with the task that you are assigned, with any presentations or assignments that you hand in. Always go above and beyond, because a lot of the times you're trying to figure out what you want to do in life, and two, you want to be employed. And that's what the city wants to do. They want to take the young minds that essentially they're breeding, right? Born and raised in Rochester, and to keep those urban fellows there. So to have the opportunity to be employed, that's the ultimate goal. That's what you want to do. You want to grab that experience and you want to give it back to the city of Rochester.
Great advice. Tassie, final question. What sort of documentation do fellows need to have when they're ready to apply?
So again, they just would go online, fill out their application. There is a pre-employment process if they're accepted or if they're being considered. So just go online, fill out your application, and meet the deadline. Our deadline right now for summer is it started February 2nd and it ends March 30th.
Great.
So you want to get those applications in.
Absolutely. Thank you, ladies, for joining us today. Again, to learn more about the City of Rochester's Urban Fellows program, visit cityofrochester.gov/urbanfellows. Call 585-428-7133 or send an email to fellowship@cityofrochester.gov.